So I would like to share my journey, how I found myself here, standing before you as the 86th president of ACPA College Student Educators International, an organization so many of us hold near and dear to our hearts. So much of my life has been shaped by others seeing a version of me that I hadn't yet recognized in myself. I've come to understand that I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, and I stand here today knowing that I belong exactly where my feet are planted. My hope is that my story will inspire others to embrace their own unique journeys and trust that you too are exactly where you are meant to be. In many ways, my story is part of a larger legacy of first. As Vice President Kamala Harris once said, I may be the first, but I will not be the last. And so I stand here not just as a reflection of my own journey, but as a representation of what's possible for future generations of leaders in our association. It is my mission to ensure that others, especially those from marginalized backgrounds, see themselves reflected in leadership and know that they too can achieve whatever they set out to accomplish. This presidency is about continuing the 100-year legacy and creating opportunities for those who will come after me. I owe so much of who I am to my lifetime friends, mentors, past and present, and support systems. To Doctors Cameron Beatty and Jordan West, thank you for your beautiful introduction and for your endless love, support, and affirmation. Thank you for choosing to do life with me, and I am better and stronger because of you both, and I couldn't imagine this journey without you by my side. My name is Jonathan Allen McElderry, and I use he, him pronouns, and I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, and am forever grateful for my family's unwavering support, especially my mother, Darlene Colbert, and Nan Betty Sue Smith, who have always modeled resilience and whose prayers have helped me get to where I am today. From a young age, I knew I wanted something different from my life, and college would be my gateway. As a first-generation college student, I vividly remember applying to college, securing funding, and telling my family I believe in that August. George Mason University broadened my perspective, connecting me with lifelong friends and unforgettable experiences I'll always cherish. It also introduced me to the field of student affairs, and the support I received from administrators not only helped me walk across the stage, but shaped the path to where I am today. As the first in my family to pursue higher education, I had no roadmap to follow, no one to guide me through the challenges of navigating undergrad, then a master's program, and finally a doctorate. The path was often uncertain, but it was mentors who guided me, opening doors I didn't know even existed. They encouraged me to ask the right questions, introduced me to this association, and lifted my name in rooms where I wasn't present, ensuring opportunities I hadn't imagined were within my reach. It's because of those mentoring relationships that I lead the way I do today, with intentionality and a commitment to lifting others as I climb. I am here because people believed in me before I fully believed in myself, and that's why I believe so deeply in the power of mentorship and representation. As a practitioner, I've had the privilege of serving at various institutions, working with some incredible student organizations, advising many of them, mentoring the next generation, collaborating with outstanding professionals, and traveling the world. My career has been deeply rooted in identity-centered work and diversity, equity, and inclusion, long before it became both a popular and controversial topic. Through mentorship, programming, and advocacy, I've worked to enhance the experiences of minoritized students at historically white institutions. My work and leadership are deeply tied to my personal history and social identities, and as a first-generation scholar, my journey reflects the broader struggles and achievements of my community. I understand firsthand the challenges that many students face, and this has fueled my passion for creating spaces where they feel seen, supported, and empowered. One of the greatest rewards of this work is witnessing the growth students experience, not only during college, but throughout their lives. It has been incredibly rewarding to witness them achieve major life milestones, graduations, weddings, new ventures, job promotions, and then go on to inspire the next generation, all while reflecting on the experiences we've shared. I often tell students that while they've learned from me, I've gained just as much from them, and these interactions have made me a better practitioner, colleague, friend, and mentor. I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason, and my time at Elon feels like a full circle moment. My first introduction to ACPA came through an Elon alumna, Dr. Chayla Haynes Davidson, a dedicated member of the association and former PAN chair, who hired me for my first leadership role as an orientation leader at George Mason University. Chayla was a former student of Dr. Janalyn Patterson, who I now have the pleasure of working alongside and learning from at Elon. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the leadership at Elon University, located on the ancestral homelands of the Occaneechi Band of the Saponi Nation, especially President Connie Book and my supervisor and vice president for student life, Dr. John Dooley. I often laugh because over the past year, I've joked that John seems more excited about this presidency than I am. But in truth, his unwavering commitment to my leadership journey and his role as a mentor and supervisor have been incredible. Understanding ACPA's traditions and what today represents, John ensured that every one of the 100+ people in our division touched the pen that I just placed in the archives, symbolizing the support of the division and the institution during my presidency. Thank you to the entire Division of Student Life, the many colleagues who have impacted and touched my journey in some way, the students who have challenged and supporting me, and my loving friends. To every supervisor, team member, collaborator, and co-conspirator I've worked with, thank you for helping make higher education better, more accessible, and achievable for so many. Last November, I attended the Association for the Study of Higher Education, which has a longstanding partnership with ACPA. My dissertation chair, Dr. Jenny Hart, serves as the 49th president under the theme, I Am a Scholar, prompting us to reflect on our own identities of what it means to be a scholar. My publications and scholarship have bridged theory and practice, helping to define through my own lens what it means to be a scholar practitioner. Writing has been a way for me to process experiences and feelings that often go unspoken as a practitioner. At the heart of my scholarship are equity, inclusion, identity, and leadership, producing actionable resources for colleagues in the broader profession. My academic work is deeply informed by my lived experiences and driven by a desire to shape the future of higher education. One of my earliest pieces, co-written with my scholar sibling, Dr. Stephanie Hernandez Rivera, reflecting our experiences during the fall 2015 protest of concerned student 1950 at the University of Missouri. I'm forever grateful to Stephanie, with whom I've had the privilege to write, grow, and publish several pieces with. And now, as the inaugural Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education Emerging Professor at Elon University and a newly named ACPA Emerging Scholar, she continues to inspire. Last fall, we reached a major milestone by publishing our first edited book together, two first-generation students of color turned educators, achieving something truly meaningful to the field, but more importantly to ourselves. I've used my scholarship to create pathways for other practitioners and scholars to share their voices and experiences, encouraging them to see themselves as scholar practitioners. And so to all those I've collaborated with on articles, book chapters, and now books, thank you for your labor in bringing these works to life. And I look forward to many more opportunities to continuing to shake the proverbial table together. Here we go. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of working alongside some of the best in the field. From the faculty at the Social Justice Training Institute, where I learned the importance of holding space and panning the room, to my role as a co-lead facilitator for the Leadership Institute, traveling across the country and fostering the vision of a just, caring, and thriving world, these experiences have shaped my journey. I've shared my expertise through conference presentations, guest lectures, consulting, keynotes, and teaching, always bringing back what I've learned to my home campuses to enhance my practices. Somebody's knocking. Mentorship has been central to my role, especially in guiding initiatives like the Mizzou Black Men's Initiative, where supporting students of color and promoting self-actualization were key. One of the most profound lessons, however, came not from a program, but directly from my students. As I prepared for my dissertation defense, several students expressed their desire to attend. Initially, I hesitated, feeling vulnerable in such a personal moment, but they insisted. saying that they had witnessed my journey and wanted to support me on that important day. And so despite my doubts, on November 9th, 2015, in the middle of the protest at the University of Missouri, I walked into a room to find it filled with students who came to share that moment with me. It was then that I realized the power of representation, because for many of them, I was the first person they had seen earn a terminal degree, and this moment was bigger than just me. It was about what I represented to them. That day, it taught me that mentorship and impact aren't just about my journey, but about how I inspire and uplift others. And I'm deeply grateful to those students for pushing me beyond my comfort zone and for their unwavering support throughout my journey as an educator. Hold on, there's a lot of talking. My journey with ACPA began nearly 15 years ago, and it has been a pivotal part of my professional and personal growth ever since. I attended my first ACPA conference in 2010 in Boston, Massachusetts, and I remember feeling nervous, uncertain about what to wear and how the experience would unfold. However, I was fortunate enough to be accompanied by two lifetime friends from undergrad, Drs. Chiquita Baylor and Cameron Harris, who had already found community in the space. By the end of the conference, I knew I had to come back because I felt at home. And so I want to say thank you to Chayla for hiring us as OLs in 2003 and giving me friends that have lasted a lifetime. Over the past 15 years, I've remained committed to boldly transforming higher education through my involvement with this beloved association. And I'm grateful to friends like Dr. Jordan West, who showed my generation that serving on the governing board was not just possible, but achievable. Since 2009, I've actively contributed to ACPA in various leadership roles, from entity leadership in the Pan-African Network and the Coalition for Multicultural Affairs, to serving on the governing board as Director of Equity and Inclusion. These opportunities have allowed me to deepen my commitment to advancing equity and inclusion in higher education while fostering meaningful connections within this incredible community. It would be impossible for me to talk about my ACPA journey without acknowledging the profound impact of the Pan-African Network. The impact of this space and the people within it on me, both personally and professionally, is immeasurable. I still remember attending the Pan Open Business meeting filled with nerves as I stood to introduce myself. After I shared my name and institution, Dr. Tracy Cameron, a past chair, leaned over and said, "I went to Ohio University too." And from that moment, a beautiful mentorship, relationship, and friendship began. And that connection is what launched my involvement in the association and has shaped so much of my growth. I'll never forget how past PAN chairs, when I was new to the board, took the time to teach us not only the importance of serving the association, but also of advancing our own professional development. They sat us down, taught us how to write conference proposals, and set goals for having the majority of the board presenting at the next conference. PAN has given me so many unforgettable memories, a network of support through both good times and challenges, and friendships that I could only dream of. It's funny to look back and think about when we were master's students and early career professionals, and to now see everything that we've accomplished over the last 15 years in all facets of life. And so I know I'm on a time limit, and I can't name everyone, but you all know who you are, you know the memories, you know all the good times that we have had, and I love all of you. Over the past year, I've been asked often, "We're serving as the association president of goal of yours?" And the answer is absolutely not. I had found home within ACPA, and as time progressed, I became immersed in opportunities, but the presidency wasn't something I initially envisioned for myself. In March 2021, during our virtual conference, past president, Reverend Dr. Brother Jamie Washington messaged me during Danielle Morgan Acosta's presidential address and said, "This will be you in 3 to 5 years." And I laughed and politely responded through Zoom, "You're right, I just got on the board," and I was still trying to figure things out. I was trying to make sure I knew what fiduciary meant and all the things, and all the things that Chris Moody was teaching us during onboarding. Fast forward to 2023, as my term of Director of Equity and Inclusion ended, Jamie brought it up again. And I laughed it off once more because I was looking forward to having no more meetings and figuring out what I do with all my free time. However, I had a dream about the position. And dreams for me are important signals that there's something I need to act on. So I set up a meeting with Chris Moody, someone I admire and am grateful for, and the past presidents of the association from 2016 onward to hear about their experiences. After those conversations didn't scare me off, I decided to submit my application, and the rest is history. I'm deeply grateful to those who shared their time, transparency, and honesty. I am grateful that I get to contribute to the legacy of Titans already in this field. My leadership journey has always been shaped by intentionality, the value of uplifting others as I climb, and the belief that leadership is about service and not status. I strive to lead with vulnerability and reflection, aiming to be the mentor I once needed and had as a young professional. This approach is guided by critical hope, as referenced in past President Heather Shea's address given in 2023, that underscores the importance of maintaining hope and resilience, especially in the face of today's challenges in the DEI landscape in higher education. In times of difficulty, I believe deeply in the power of partnership and collaboration as the foundation of greatness, not individualism. Leadership is a complex journey, and I see myself as a steward of hope, committed to nurturing purpose in myself and others. Unexpected encounters can shift life's trajectory, and my journey to this presidency is proof of that. I've also learned to embrace the mindset of the let them theory, allowing others to make their own choices rather than trying to control their outcomes. It's a practice that frees up mental space and energy, letting me focus on my own actions and responses while building relationships rooted in peace and understanding. Leadership, I've discovered, also comes with scrutiny, and that's why it's important for me to be surrounded with a strong support system, and that has been crucial to me staying grounded and thriving in this role. Over the past year, we've celebrated the remarkable 100-year legacy of ACPA. As we look ahead to the next century, we share a deep enthusiasm for the transformative work that ACPA will continue to lead. The road ahead presents both challenges and opportunities for higher education leaders, from supporting and growing our workforce, navigating enrollment and financial challenges, advancing commitments to racial justice and decolonization, to meeting the needs of an increasingly diverse student body. While we can't predict every challenge or opportunity that will emerge over the next 100 years, we are confident that ACPA will remain steadfast in supporting our members, institutions, and students along the way. In today's rapidly evolving higher education landscape, the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion cannot be overstated. The DEI landscape is shifting, and with it, our responsibility to ensure the sustainability of our workforce. Within ACPA, we believe that when the people doing the work are well supported, students will thrive. Workforce sustainability is key to this, as the strength of our association lies in the well-being of its members. By fostering a consistent narrative around the value of the work being done within our community, we ensure that higher education professionals feel seen, valued, and equipped to face emerging challenges. As we look to the future of higher education, we must remain committed to advancing these principles, knowing that the work we do today will shape the next 100 years. Whether addressing workforce sustainability or responding to the evolving needs of students, ACPA will continue to lead with purpose and vision. So, as we look to the future of the association, I want to take a moment to highlight several key priorities that I will focus on during my presidency. The central question guiding my work is, how do we position ACPA for the future? One critical area is the accessibility audit implementation, where our Director of Member Belonging in the International Office will lead efforts to implement recommendations from the ACPA Accessibility Audit with support from the Universal Design Strategies Chair and the Equity and Inclusion Council. Another significant focus is the 2026 to 2030 strategic plan, which will aim to enhance membership, strengthen our brand identity, and invest in the profession. Our Strategic Initiatives Working Council is gathering input from members and will finalize the plan by mid-2025. Additionally, a task force for entity group funding and expectation has been convened to assess our current funding model and propose recommendations by May 2025. The Leadership Council assessment will also be a priority as we evaluate the current structure to identify successes and areas for adjustment. We'll also be continuing to take a close look at the state of graduate programs and student affairs through the Graduate Student and Grad Prep Programs initiatives, which will explore how to better engage graduate students within our association. In addition, we are committed to implementing a labor acknowledgement practice with recommendations already developed and being led by the Equity and Inclusion Council. And lastly, we expect to provide an update on the ACPA NASPA professional competencies revision work in the coming months. While these operational goals are vital, I also want to speak to the heart of my presidency, which centers on the theme of mentoring with purpose, building networks of support in higher education. Through my experience, I've witnessed the transformative power of intentional mentoring. In today's complex educational environment, creating strong networks of support is essential for students, faculty, and administrators alike. Representation within our association is equally important. Reflecting on my 15-year journey with ACPA, I realized I had never seen a Black woman serve as convention chair. After some research, I found that the last Black woman to hold that role was in the year 2000, so 25 years ago. And so as an association committed to racial justice and decolonization, we must support Black women who have been the backbone of change in this country. And so one of the ways that we do this is providing support, opportunity, and commitment to Black women's leadership and voices. And so in my first presidential act, I appointed Dr. Aja Holmes as convention chair for ACPA 26. Her passion and love for ACPA are exactly what we need as we prepare to gather in Baltimore, and I am super excited about the convention steering team and all the volunteers that were working to bring that to reality. I also took time to reflect on the presidential intern role and the importance of cultivating future leaders within our association. In doing so, I selected two outstanding members, Trinity Brooks and Johnny Allen Jr., who I've observed over the years. I'm confident that they will bring fresh perspectives, boundless enthusiasm, and an eagerness to learn. They truly embody the essence of being found doing the work, as Dr. Flap Cockrell so powerfully expressed at the ACPA 2019 Black Student Affairs Pre-Conference Workshop. As part of my commitment to fostering mentorship, I've charged a group of faculty, practitioners, and graduate students to form a writing group examining the intersections of the strategic imperative for racial justice and decolonization with mentoring in higher education. This initiative, led by Dr. Cameron Beatty and Dr. Cristobal Salinas, focuses on identity-conscious mentoring that addresses the intersections of race, gender, sexuality, and other social identities, creating resources that help marginalized students and staff navigate systemic barriers. Additionally, in collaboration with Z Nicoloza, executive editor for About Campus, I'm excited to share that we're working on a special edition set to be published by ACPA 26. Special guest editors, Dr. Stephanie Hernandez-Rivera and Dr. Emily Crichel will lead this effort, which will feature practitioners, scholars, and students engaging in identity-conscious mentorship practices. This edition will explore the power of meaningful, transformative relationships and fostering growth and development in higher education. As we prepare for ACPA 26 in Baltimore, I am thrilled to announce the launch of a fundraising campaign to raise $6,000 for textbook assistance and scholarships for graduates of Cristo Rey Jesuit High School in Baltimore. CRJ serves 361 students, 98% of whom are from underrepresented backgrounds, and all of its graduates are accepted into college. These funds will help prevent a financial barrier that could hinder success as they begin their college journeys. This initiative holds special significance for me, as overcoming financial barriers was one of my greatest challenges when I was a first-year student at George Mason University. And so you can donate to this cause by accessing this QR code or going directly to the Giving website. This campaign aligns with ACPA's mission of boldly transforming higher education by investing in the future of underrepresented students and supporting the communities that host our annual convention. We will honor the scholarship recipients at the ACPA Annual Convention on March 30th, 2026. And I see people scanning, thank you so much. Together, these efforts reflect our commitment to creating a just, caring, and thriving higher education landscape. So thank you in advance for being part of this incredible journey, and I look forward to all that we will accomplish together. As I reflect on this incredible journey, I often ask myself, what do I want my legacy to be? And for me, it's about leaving behind a presidency that was rooted in racial justice, intentional leadership, and the belief in lifting others as I climb. My journey from serving as the PAN chair to leading this association is a testament to what it means to create space, foster connection, and pave the way for those who've come next. As we look to the future, I encourage each of us to think about how we will support and prepare the next generation of leaders. Mentorship, succession planning, and legacy building are critical if we are to continue transforming higher education. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and I am incredibly proud to be a part of the first all-Black male presidential trio with incoming President-elect Calvin Rutledge and past President Stephen John Quay. And we are making history once again as we continue the work that began with Stephen John Quay, Donna Lee, and Jamie Washington. Their leadership and the legacy they helped shape is part of the fabric of this association. This moment is full circle for me as we will return to Baltimore 15 years after my second convention and where I stepped into my first leadership role within the association. The theme, Be More Anchored, symbolizes our strong commitment to the foundational values of higher education while continuing to drive innovation and progress during times of change and transformation. Every step of my journey has been intentional. It's a reminder of the importance of living your life with purpose, of being deliberate in how you serve, and of knowing that every experience, every challenge, and every victory has led you to where you are today. Serving as the 86th president of ACPA is not only a responsibility I hold with the greatest honor, but something that I truly value. But as much as we reflect on the past, this is also a call to action. And so I challenge each of you to lead with the same intentionality, resilience, and hope, to build legacies that lift others, to mentor the next generation with purpose, and to continue the work of shaping a more just and inclusive future for higher education. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has been a part of my journey. Your support, your mentorship, and your belief in me have made this possible. As we close, I like to end with a quote by Dr. Maya Angelou that I shared in my Diamond Honoree speech in 2023. I first encountered this quote during the African American Male Leadership Institute, introduced to me by Dr. Darren Pierre. Dr. Angelou wrote, "The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned." And she was right about that ache. We all long for a place or a community where we can truly be ourselves, and for many of us, past and present, ACPA has been that place. I am grateful that I found my home within ACPA 15 years ago, and I am beyond honored to serve as this association's 86th president. Thank you so much.